Good evening, guys. It's another new week, and you're welcome to Afia TV Official, where we bring you up to speed with all that is hot, trendy, and spicy on the internet. Broadcasting live from the cool city of Enugu State on DSTV 254 and GoTV 17. Welcome, guys. My name is Divine Onoha, your queen of great conversations, and I am your host for today. But I'm not here alone. I'm here with a very, very amazing woman seated right beside me, a beautiful lady who goes by the name Chinonyelum Okoye, who is a microbiologist and a creative writer. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here with you.
I'm happy to see you too. You're very beautiful, by the way.
So are you. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. Okay, so I was just curious. This is a question that always gets me curious. Anytime I see a science student doing something artistic, I just want to know what's behind it. Now you're a microbiologist and a creative writer. Yeah. What happened? At what point did the something come in?
Okay, so being born to parents who are doctors, and well, my dad is a doctor and my mom is an artist, so yes.
Okay, now that's interesting.
I was stuck in the middle. So it was either there was this pull between science and art, I had to fuse the both. And I've always been able to express myself through writing and speaking, and I've been doing that over the years. And now I think the pull from writing has been so strong, and I am following my heart. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at what point did the pull for, getting into sciences, when did that one come in?
I've always wanted to be a scientist.
Okay.
From primary school, as soon as I was able to say what I wanted to do in school, yes, probably influenced from my dad, seeing him every day. I wanted to do that, and I was good in sciences. But I could also write. And I guess they would always encourage you. It was either be a doctor or an engineer.
Yeah.
But I didn't need to be forced in you. I've always wanted that. I've had this yearning.
It wasn't out of pressure.
It wasn't out of pressure. It wasn't out of pressure. But I've always been a talented writer. So
that is beautiful. Honestly, I don't know if you intimidate me. Because I am so anti-sciences. Okay, not anti per se. I mean, I love what you guys do, but it feels like I cannot do what you are doing. I'm just so all about arts, creativity, doing stuff with my hand, writing, speaking, drawing, and all of that. That's what, and anytime I hear anything about mathematics, like, okay, what are people saying? Or science or anything related, it's just...
Let me let you in on a little secret.
Okay.
I don't like math. So, yes, so we're
Yep. Thank God, I'm not alone.
And a scientist might feel intimidated also with speaking and writing in some cases. So they would always admire people that are art.
I see you're trying to console me because you do both. Come on. Oh well, thank you, but I mean, you are simply amazing.
Thank you. I'm not.
You are amazing. Can you just take compliments and say thank you?
Fine.
I feel like I'm telling myself too.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, we'll just dive into what is trending on the internet. And we'll start from our 001. Anytime there's a Tinubu story on our show, I do not, because I respect my president. He's our 001.
Of course.
Not Davido, not Burna Boy or Wizkid. So I will always want to start with him. And so, because Nigeria has been going through a lot. You've been going through a lot, I believe. I have been going through a lot. So there's a lot we expect from the president. There's a lot we expect from the government. There's a lot we expect from the leaders of the country. So there are times where we feel like the president is not saying anything at all. He's not saying anything. President, you're supposed to talk about this. I remember when we had the protests, the different protests we had, president did not say anything until much, much, much later. So there are times we feel like they are not addressing us. And then there are other times they come out and they talk to us and we feel like, what are you people saying? You people are saying upside down things. Yeah. So this should be one of those addresses, President came out to tell us, and this particular headline has made it, has gone viral. And he said, my economic policies are yielding results. And by the grace of God, every household will experience a better life. Let me read it again for those at the back. My economic policies are yielding results, and by the grace of God, every household will experience a better life. First, I want to know your reaction to this.
Mixed feelings, mixed feelings. So he said they are yielding results. Yielding. I want to know if there's a case study somewhere in Aso Rock where some people who are experiencing the said yield of these policies were able to, note down they were able to note down their reactions. Because if you go out on the streets, people are suffering. I don't see a reflection of such policies. Maybe in the future, we would experience it, but currently it's a different reality out there. I mean, look at fuel prices, look at food prices, electricity, insecurity. These things are contributing to a high cost of transportation, restlessness, hunger. People are hungry. And I don't think these economic policies are favorable to the common man, to the masses, and people are agitated. So just saying these things are no. Maybe in the future, I don't want to discredit his economic policies, but currently, no, it's a different reality for Nigerians, and I don't think these things are favoring us at the moment because everybody's feeling it. Everybody, yeah.
Personally, I think that I'm trying not to be violent since my guest is very, very demure. I personally think that I don't know how it works generally, but I strongly believe that if you are the one implementing the policies, then somehow you shouldn't be the one telling us that it's yielding results. We should be, because you're making the policies for us. Exactly. It's us that it's affecting. Exactly. So we should be the ones to say whether it's yielding results or not. If you make a policy, you had your motives, you had your reasons, good or bad, it was within your own, it was your plan, it was your, am I adding Igbo? It was your plan, it was your idea, it was your initiative, you had your motives for doing it. Now, the people it's affecting is us. We're the ones being affected. Yeah. We're the ones that are, whatever result your policies yield, we're the ones that are going to face it. So I think we should be the ones to be able to tell if your policies are yielding results or not.
That's true.
Don't you think?
I think so. And I think the government should have policies in place or things that would cushion the effects of these people need something right now. We don't need, we know you're working and it's probably going to reflect in the future, but we need something now. We need something to hold on to.
Hold on to.
We need hope. You cannot say, in a couple of years we're going to see, and then we should die of hunger. At the moment, we should, what would we feed on? We wouldn't have electricity to work. The cost, the rise of dollar as opposed to the naira. And Nigeria is more of, we should be moving into a producing economy, but right now we are just consuming. More of in the consuming economy. So these policies it will be difficult for us to cope, and so we need something. We need something to hold on to cushion the effects of these harsh times. So coming from the opinion as one of the masses, people who are experiencing such detrimental effects of the economies, I would say that. We're almost losing hope. It's just that we don't have a choice. We're not going to die, but a lot of people have lost hope. But for me, we're on the cusp of that, on the cusp of a deteriorating economy, and it's not good. There might be a collapse. We might experience something terrible in times if this is not tackled.
But I like how positive you sound, to be very honest. You're like the first person I'm talking to about these things that is able to sound this positive, because I mean, I was just listening to you and you said perhaps in the future things will be better. But I mean, I've had conversations with people and what you hear is, it is what we see now that will determine what the future will be. That's what a lot of people out there think. There's this proverb they use. I've forgotten it all. But there's the Igbo proverb. There are different ways that people express this thing, that it is what we are seeing now. It is the steps you're taking now. It is the decisions you're making now that will tell what tomorrow is going to be. So if things are not going right now, then there's a chance that we're not going to see anything tomorrow. Do you believe, does that make any sense?
It makes sense, but I think it's the job of the media, since the people look onto, to get information. It's the job of the media to curtail mass hysteria. So if people out there are being mad and trying to, protest, or they are provoked, you have the job of controlling it from your vantage point. You have to trying to placate them, so that things don't get out of control. Even though people are angry, people are very angry, but you have to sort of soothe the atmosphere.
On the contrary, I think those in the media, we in the media, are actually here to say the truth. And we're actually here to check the government too.
Of course.
Honestly speaking. So our job, I believe, is to state facts. If this is, there are times we analyze government plans and government projects, and when we see that, okay, this is moving the right direction, we'll come out and we'll tell you, it's moving the right direction. This governor is doing well. This policy will analyze it and we'll say, okay, these are the advantages, these are the disadvantages. So I don't think that I'm here to tell you that you should be calming down. I mean, if I see a meaningful thing, if I see a reason you should calm down, I will tell you. There are times we talk about stories and I just feel Nigerians are just shy to, we're just out to drag. There are times that I feel that way, that we're just dragging everything. We're not even thinking critically anymore. But there are other times that it's just, the truth is just so glaring, it's so obvious. You want to blame Nigerians for dragging everything, but at the same time, you can't really blame them because even you that is trying to soothe the audience, you are going through it.
Well, I guess it was the way I was raised, still for peace first.
Okay.
And try to be placating, be calm in every situation. And probably from my science background, so you don't make mistakes when you're analyzing results. You need to be calm through every process. Even if everybody's panicking, you just need to keep calm. A calm head on your shoulders to get through stuff. Because if you're agitated, it's not going to help matters. If you don't have food today and you get angry, and if you don't find a way you're not going to get food tomorrow. So you need to sit calmly through it and think of other ways to solve the problem.
So now that we're talking about this now I'm now curious about certain things. Now talking about calmness now, people, sometimes it feels like if you're calm, things are fine. I could remember what led to the protests was because a lot of people thought we've been quiet for too long. So don't you think if Nigerians decide to take on the calm demeanor and just decide to, take things slow, okay, if this is not working, we'll figure this out. If they chase me from this job, I'll figure this out, Don't you think it will be telling the government that, okay, we're not too bothered, we're okay?
That's not true. When it's time to take to the streets, you should do that. You should, express your rights. You should be able to protest and talk to your government, show how angry you are. But it's also good to be informed because a lot of people out on the streets do not know why they are protesting. They do not know anything about economic reforms or economic policies and how they affect them. They don't know what the future would look like for them. Or they don't even know their past. They've not analyzed exactly. They don't know why they are there. They're just following the crowd, mob mentality. But we need to be educated. We need to read. These things concern us. Prepare for the next election. A lot of people didn't have their voters card until last year. A lot of people don't even know why they are supporting certain parties that they are supporting.
Some religious influence.
They think that immediately this party that they voted in gets into power, everything is going to be fine. Forgetting that economic reforms take time, they take years. And for Nigeria, this time, this situation that is going to take a long time. Look at other world powers. It took a while. These things happen over the years. You cannot agitate and have results now. True, you could change leadership, and that's where it starts. You could influence opinions like that. But you should bear in mind that good things take time.
Okay.
Good things take time, and you should get yourself educated. Read, know your history, and know that history repeats itself, and get prepared
for it.
Yes.
That was a charge. Very, very important one. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So are we with President on this or not? Are you with President on this or not?
I'm definitely not with him. But I mean, he still has a couple of years to show.
Oh my God. We need some change now. Yes, we need something to hold on to.
Yes, we need something.
All right, we'll just take a look at the comments. The first comment we have here is from Igweka, and he says, I despise how Nigerian politicians rope God into their policies. He said, by the grace of God, every household will experience a better life. The next comment is from Tom's Miracle. He says, don't waste your energy believing in any Nigerian politician's promises. Buhari did more than this after 8 years. Nothing productive was experienced. Just live your life and ignore empty promises. The next comment is from Ibro Malik. He says, this same life or our next life. The next here says, I can't wait for the results to favor me and my household because we don't tire. Honestly, I believe many Nigerians are on
sarcasm.
this table. The next comment here says, he meant his family. He's talking about his family, not Nigerians.
Probably.
And the final comment here says, I don't do research. This man and Pharaoh are brothers. No comments. Any final words?
Well, trust Nigerians not to disappoint.
I'm telling you.
They always try to trivialize issues, and that's where we have a problem. See, people have gone on there to make jokes, and then they are going to move on. No thought-provoking conversations. No serious reactions. Just jokes and cruise, and we continue with life. And we forget this incident. Tomorrow they're going to forget he said this. And we'll probably make out a few memes from this, and then life goes on.
Well, at the end of the day, that's the way most people are surviving.
I see why noise making doesn't really have any impact.
Yeah, true.
And
true, though.
Research, education, information is the key. Yes. And then you know why you're angry in the first place.
I totally agree with you. I think we'll just move on to the next story. Unfortunately, the next story is not it's not an exciting one either. I'll just get straight to it. This is from CBN Governor, and he's saying, don't Japa, we are building an economy where every individual, business, and community can thrive, which is pretty much similar to what the president has said. And let me just give you a little more background story to this. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Olayemi Cardoso, has urged Nigerians to reconsider relocating abroad, assuring that the Apex Bank is working to build an economy where individuals and businesses can thrive. Speaking at an event in Lagos, the governor said it is not a good idea to Japa at this stage. 2 reasons. 1, those who may decide they are going to do that, they will sell and get rid of their assets. You'll be doing it for cheap predators who are outside looking for bargains, will come and take it and pocket it, put it in their pocket and wait for the turnaround and sell it away. Okay, a lot was said here, so we'll just move. But the punchline is that he's telling us not to Japa, we should not go anywhere, that they are building an economy where every individual, business and community can thrive. What's your reaction to this?
Without sounding rude to the CBN governor, the line he made about your assets being more valuable than you sell them for is a cheap attempt to lure Nigerians to stay. It's a cheap attempt at that, and I don't think that's enough reason to convince someone. For a mass exodus to happen in a country, it means that there is a problem, there is a deterioration in the country, there's a decay. That people, you don't want to live somewhere that is good, do you?
True.
If this is home, for crying out loud, nobody wants to abandon their homes, their family, the life that they've known for years.
For years, people they've met.
Go to a foreign country, a different place where the weather is harsh, is not so conducive, and probably you had a good job and you had to abandon it and go start all over.
And become a cleaner, probably.
You're way qualified, you're overqualified to do. Nobody wants to do that. But you cannot use selling of your properties. If someone wants to leave, if someone is desperate to leave, that's not going to stop them. And a lot of Nigerians that have not been able to leave is because they don't have the opportunity, they don't have the chance. And some of these politicians or some of our leaders, most of their families are not based in Nigeria. They are
true.
Abroad. Why are they not there? Do they stay here to receive medical care?
I can't wait for you to see the comments, but keep continuing.
Do they stay here? Do they receive education from here? Why? There's a problem with our education system. There is a problem with the institution. That's
Health
why people
sector,
are
there's a problem
exactly.
with
That's why people are leaving, and you can't convince them. You're trying to lure them back home. What do you have to do? You have to give something. You have to give something back, and so you have to tackle the problem of insecurity. You have to tackle the problem of bad roads. You have to tackle the problem of electricity. You have to tackle the problem, a lot of
There's
things.
So many,
you need to offer, you need to entice people if you want them to stay here, you want them to come back. I mean, for crying out loud, Nigerians love home. And that's why Christmas period at the end of the year, or maybe during summer breaks or something, you see people coming back home to see their families. Yes, they long to be here, but then they come back, they get kidnapped. I mean, there's no light, a lot of things, and then they run back. Why? Because things are not great. Things are not so great here. And so they go where things are favorable to them. And so I would say, I'm hopeful for the future because I think it gets darkest before it gets bright.
Before it gets bright.
So we have to be hopeful. I always say that I have to,
I really love how hopeful you are.
Yes, of course, because nobody's going to do it for me.
I really love how
nobody's going to do
are.
it for me. And so I think you need to give something to the people, show them something. There are no jobs. Tackle the problem of unemployment,
True.
And people would have something to look forward to. People have something to look up to. Oh, well, the government, at least they're trying. At least they're trying to help us. But now, nothing. Nothing inspires hope in the lives of Nigerians. So, man, I cannot convince anybody to stay back here. I can't.
I totally agree with you, especially when you said what he said was just a very cheap attempt at luring people to stay. Because at the end of the day, you're telling somebody that has not eaten that your asset is this. Nobody wants to know that. Now, you also mentioned the fact that they get abroad there and they get to do things that they shouldn't do because they are overly qualified. They are more qualified. They are qualified for better things. But they start to clean. You see some of them doing menial jobs, doing strenuous jobs. But guess what? They most of them are satisfied because it's a working system. At least I do my work and I get paid. Exactly. And there's no police to extort the money on the road. I see lights. If I go home, there is light. I can sleep well. There's no mosquito biting me. The health is okay. At least I have a health insurance.
Yes, and you see
and so many things.
Money working.
So Nigerians, I always say these things. We're not asking for too much. To be very honest, we're not asking for luxury.
Yes, these are basic needs.
Basic.
But in times of such harsh economic conditions, you see that basic needs become luxury.
Luxury.
Basic needs become luxury. I mean, electricity in the 21st century.
National grid has collapsed 100 times this year. But I think we're running out of time, so we'll just take a look at the comments and then we'll move from there. This is the first comment. It says, when you're done building, let me know. Then we can talk. Till then, we move. Okay. The next comment here says, how do I purchase thunder from hell? That's sad. The next one here says, we go there outside, they watch you now, as soon as they build them in case cement finish halfway. This is from Sarah. She says, government, stop telling people what to do. Your job is to focus on improving the country's economy, and so far you've been doing a terrible job at it.
And I agree.
I agree too. The next one here says, one thing I learned growing up in Nigeria is to pray for our government. I am over 40. The story never changed still. Shana, when I clock 70, Nigeria go better ni. And you say make people know Japa when all your extended family are domiciled across Europe.
That's
quite sad.
Yes, it's quite sad.
And this is from Mannequin Lourdes. She says, where are his kids? Big question. Where are your kids? For everybody that comes out to say, don't Japa, where are your kids?
Where are their kids?
Very valid question. And the next and the final comment here says, I don't know his family, but I can bet you that more than half of his own family is living abroad. Any final words?
Yeah, I think the saddest thing about this is the separation of families. Families are spread across the world and they haven't seen each other in years, in decades, and they probably never will until they are dead. And I mean, this is Nigeria. This is what Nigeria has done our people. And
it's quite sad.
That's all I have to say.
All right. So we're ending this show on a very sober note. So all Nigerians out there, just be thinking about your life. Just be thinking the way I'm thinking about my life right now. But most importantly, I think that we should keep hopes up. Like I said, I really, really admire how hopeful you are. And I'm not saying we should keep hopes up because our leaders are doing the right thing, but because that's the only way you can actually survive.
Yes.
If you keep believing you would survive, you have a positive outlook to things. When you see challenges, you'll be eager to face them head on. And that's the way you're going to overcome. But if you just decide, Nigeria is so depressing and you stay depressed, it's just going to worsen the whole situation. So please, stay hopeful. And thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. I appreciate that.
It was a pleasure. One more. And to you viewer out there, a very, very big thank you for joining us today. Ensure that you join us tomorrow. Join us every other weekday here on Afia TV every 5:30 p.m. We'll be right here to give you all that is hot, trendy, and spicy. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms at Afia TV Official. And do not forget, my Enugu story is almost here. If you're a creative and you're yet to submit your entries, please do so before 6th of December. My name is Divine Onoha, your Queen of Great Conversations. Have a lovely, lovely evening ahead. Bye.